Welcome and thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to have a great time reading Jesus Calms the Storm from the Archbook series. We see Jesus here calming the storm by just a word, by just saying calm, stop, be still. And that's how powerful he is. And we see him doing just that here. He will calm the storm. In our front page here, we read this story from Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Matthew 8:23 to 27, Mark 4:35 to 41, Luke 8:22 to 25. Our children's version today is written by Jean Thor Cook, illustrations by Chris Wald-Dyrud. Let's get started, and we are going to see here just exactly what happens. Here's Jesus amidst everyone in the scene, and it says here, Jesus was tired. His hand covered a yawn. The day had been busy from sunrise to sundown. There had been teaching and healing and stories to tell. Many folks brought their sick, and he made them well. How could Jesus rest with the crowd still there? Why not sail across the lake? The disciples knew where. So here they are. They're setting up that boat to go to their favorite place here, but they have to cross the lake, and they're taking this relatively small boat, and they think it's going to be relatively quick, and they're used to this. So here they are, and here's Jesus saying bye to everybody. They're so thankful to Jesus, and they know that he's tired and he has to go on his way. So here they are, and they are sailing at night. And it says here the boat left shore. The crowd waved goodbye. Jesus soon slept beneath the starry sky. At first it was peaceful. The waves splish and splash, but then a storm came up. It came up so fast. All of a sudden, Jesus was already fast asleep. It's nighttime, and things were getting crazy. They were getting noisy. They were getting their boat was rocking. They felt like they were getting soaking wet. Everybody was in the middle of the ocean in this small boat, just trying to stay afloat, trying to stay balanced, doing what they can to stay afloat, because this storm, the wind and the thunder and the waves were just getting so powerful. Jesus slept through it, pillow under his head, peaceful, relaxed as though in his bed. The wind shrieked and moaned, the boat gathered speed. Why was Jesus sleeping? His friends were in need. Everybody was holding on to dear life, wondering why this is getting worse. Jesus is right there. They know that Jesus is in the boat. They know that he can possibly help here. They're first trying to take hold of the situation. They're not bothering Jesus. They are wondering why Jesus is sleeping, but they are trying to stay balanced. They're trying to get the water out of their boat. They're trying to help each other here, and they're worried. They're scared. They're freaking out. And it's just a lot of commotion here. We have the nature, we have what's inside the boat of the disciples being worried and being frantic. And the winds, they roared more fiercely. Waves whooshed over the bow. We need to wake Jesus and do it right now. Don't you know we could perish? They questioned their Lord. Get up or we'll drown. We'll be swept overboard. So they are crying out to Jesus now, more so than before. And they're really calling out to him with all their might, because they are helpless here and they're worried. Be quiet, be still. Jesus spoke to the waves. Quickly they calmed. They had to obey. Here is Jesus saying calm, with his arms as well lifted towards the sky, and he has woken up. He has seen what is happening. Immediately he calms the storm by speaking to it, and he does help. He does want to be there for them and help them and not have them worry. He does care, and he is doing what is needed. Jesus asked his disciples, why were you scared? Have faith. They'd forgotten Jesus always cared. The disciples then wondered who was this great man who brought them safe sailing, got them out of that jam. Because this was a dire situation on the brink of a disaster, and Jesus was able to stop it instantly just by speaking to it. This is supernatural power. This is power. This is mighty power. They are trying to process it slowly but surely. They're questioning all these things, and their faith is being increased now that they see Jesus' miracle here of calming the storm, of knowing that they could trust in Jesus more, and just soaking everything in. They are moving in the right direction. They're increasing their faith. He was awesome, magnificent, full of power was he. How did he take charge of those raging seas? In time they know Jesus was God's precious son, that his life would be given to save everyone. In a dire situation of death because of sin, we can still be saved here by God the Son. The parent's note from the editor. After reading the story, you might want to act it out. Fill a pan with water, sit a toy boat on the surface of the water, and blow on it with your child to create a storm. Then stop blowing and watching the storm end. Talk with your child about a time when you have been afraid. Help your child understand that we all feel afraid at times. Then read Psalm 56:3 together. When I am afraid, I will trust in you. Explain to your child that just as Jesus calmed the storm, he can calm our worries and fears and help us handle the problems that trouble us. He carried our greatest fear, the fear of eternal death, to the cross and won our victory for us. Pray with your child, thanking Jesus for his loving care and forgiveness. Yes, we know that Jesus can help calm the storm. He's capable and he wants to, even though we might not see his action right away. He will do that. He will help us calm everything. He's already done it all. He's won the victory. And so we just need to hold on to that, strengthen our faith more and more, and see that every step of the way things can get worse, but it will be okay. God will save us. And so that's what he does. He is the Savior. He will continue to show us in little and big trials that he can do that. So let us continue to trust in the Lord no matter what is going on, because even in those times where it's just almost the end, Jesus turns it around. He really does. And from that, we can testify to him. We can remember this. We can spread the word of this testimony, and we can let others know truly he has done it and he will continue to do it. It is great to be reminded and to understand that that is the reason why this has happened, and God wanted things to get worse so that he can show us that he is mighty enough to save us in the deepest depth of problems, of darkest times, of the most worrisome worries, to know that it can be okay here with the Lord. Turn to him,